Hello lovely people and welcome to part 6 of the ultimate Tweeter Shootout. In this video we will have a look at the off-axis response of all of these tweeters. So last time, if you watched the previous video, we were talking about the frequency response in general. We checked which tweeters can play high res. And now we're going to have a look how these tweeters perform off axis. Now, why is this important in the first place? When you have a tweeter playing in the environment, you will have the direct sound that's coming from the tweeter, and you will have off-axis sound that is being reflected from the various surfaces in your listening environment. If we're talking about cars, we're going to have reflections from the dashboard, from the windshield, from the side windows, from all the plastic panels. And the whole idea about the off-axis response is that whenever you have off-axis response as similar as possible to the direct sound, the better the imaging and the more stable the stage is going to be. You will have basically a much nicer sound from SQ perspective with all the imaging cues and your stable and focused center image. If your off-axis response is going to be very different from the direct sound, that, in theory at least, is not as good. In between these tweeters, we will be looking for the tweeters that perform the best in that regard. Now, in regards to the measurements, we do have, I just took for example this OEM BMW Harman Kardon tweeter. We do have an on-axis response where the microphone is directly in front of the tweeter. Then we have a response measured 30 degrees off axis, and we have a 60 degrees off axis. Now, if you are installing tweeters 60 degrees off axis, shame on you. You should never do that. There's no point doing this because you're going to lose the top end, and is just why too many direct reflections that are gonna go somewhere else. So if you're gonna have your tweeter installed 60 degrees off axis and you will have this as your main sound coming to you, the direct sound, which is much louder, will bounce off of various surfaces, and you might have reflections that are stronger in level compared to your sound that's coming to you. So ideally you should aim your tweeters on axis all the time, but that is a conversation for a different time. We will have a look at off-axis response at 30 degrees only. So we'll be comparing on axis and 30 degrees off axis. If you want to compare 60 degrees, go for it. I'm not going to do that in this specific video. Now, how do we evaluate this off-axis and how would you compare the responses with other tweeters? What I did here, I split it in two sides. I named it as split hertz and 16 kilohertz plus minus. Now, what does that mean? Split hertz is where the off-axis response starts to deviate from on-axis. So, for example, for this tweeter, it would be something like 4.3 kilohertz. If we take any other random tweeter, let's for example Stereo Integrity, this is going to be something maybe here, 5.3 kilohertz. So every tweet, depending on the crossover and depending on the size, the physical size of the tweeter, will play omnidirectionally. Omnidirectionally means that the responses on and off axis are identical, will play omnidirectionally up to very different frequencies. If we take, for example, this Alpine DD drive and 30 degrees off axis, see, this is a response a little bit different, but it does play the same up to 8.5 kilohertz. So again, it depends on the size of the tweeter. Now the second number, 16 kilohertz plus minus. I chose 16 kilohertz as my reference. This is just, there's no standard, no agreed frequency. This is just purely what I chose. And what I'm going to do when I'm going to compare the off-axis response, I'm going to take these two responses, on axis and 30 degrees off, and I'm going to take at 16 kilohertz and I'm going to see how much plus minus that frequency response is different in dB in level. So for this tweet is going to be 1, 2, 3, about 4 decibels. Different tweeters will have different response differences at 16K. For example, let's take my favorite one, which is SB29. Take this 30 degrees off axis, and you can see that 30 degrees off axis, this tweeter at 16 kilohertz is like 10 decibels difference. So yeah, different tweeters will behave differently. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shift this graph to 16K just like that. And basically I'm going to go through all the tweeters one by one, and I'm going to check this point, which is going to be like 2.9K, and I'm going to calculate this, and then I'm going to put those numbers here. And when we're going to have those numbers, then we can have a look at this. This took me literally more than an hour. It's very time consuming. So again, I will attach this Excel file under the video so you can download it and you can look specifically at each tweeter number that you're interested in. So for example, we have some tweeters that start to split very low, and some that start to split very high. Now, so what is good and what is bad? What we want is for that split to happen as high in frequency as possible, so that we would have the most range where the driver plays omnidirectionally, and we want this difference to be as little as possible. So basically we would have on-axis response extremely similar to the on-axis response. So we can have a look at these numbers. You can have a look at them yourselves. Some drivers split very, very high. For example, this one, Mondorf AMT, it splits at 10K and it has only 3 dB spread at 16K. Some of them perform much worse. For example, this VIFA, it splits at just below 3 kilohertz and it does have a 6 dB spread. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to explain to you all these color codings and everything. The green color coding means that the off-axis response is very similar to the on-axis, and it looks nice, such as this SB29. You can see it just looks nice off-axis response. If we take, for example, like this Alpine SPX 1-inch, which is this one, 30 degrees off-axis, you can see it splits somewhere here, about 7K. The difference is 4.7 decibels, but the off-axis response is very, very similar to the on-axis response. So all of these green ones are that. All the other ones are not as nice. Let's have a look. For example, audio dynamics on axis and off axis. So you can see that splits happens here and here as well. If we have a look at the data, 4.2K and plus minus 16K is 0. So you would think it splits at 4.2K and then it's basically almost the same response. But in reality, you have a split here and then it ends up at close to 0, so it kind of matches. But the off-axis is not the same as on-axis, and 60 degrees is as well. So, you know what I mean? All these white ones, they're not bad, but there's nothing exceptionally good about them. And if we talk about the red ones are bad. So let's, for example, take the DS18s. There we go, one of them. This is on axis, it's already bad, and 30 degrees off axis is just totally different from the on axis response. Exactly the same we have with the other one, which is this one and this one. So you can see here is just overlaps. So some of these that are in red, I'm not going to show you all of them, but the red ones you can consider that have quite bad off-axis response. We do have some yellow ones. So the yellow ones are, I think it's only 2. Yeah. So we have the Timu AMT driver and the Infinity emit driver, where I couldn't determine the split frequency. So let me show you the Infinity emit. Actually, I found the Timu first. Timu and this. So you can see that we can determine the 16K difference, but where do they split? They don't split. It's just you have reduction in level. Exactly the same we have with the emit tweeter. There we go. this one, and this one. So it is crossed at 9K here. And you can see you cannot determine where it splits. And then we have this blue one because it's just very different compared to others. This is the BMR driver on axis and off axis. So you can see it splits somewhere here about 3.5K, which I put 3.5. The difference is 4 dB. However, you can see that here it kind of crosses over and is the opposite of what you would expect, where you have the off axis is louder than on axis. So I think this is the only driver that does this. And again, this is not a typical tweeter. So on average, this would be kind of okay frequency response and off-axis response, but for our purpose, I'm just gonna put blue because it's just totally different than anything else. As I mentioned, what is good and what is bad? We want this split frequency to be as high as possible in frequencies, and we want this plus minus to be as little as possible. So from all of these, we do have some that split very high, just because because of the crossover frequency and the response, because they don't have a response. So for example, this China AMT, this is a square one. It can be split at 10K and it does have plus minus 5 dB difference. Some of these drivers, for example, this Dayton AMT24, it can be split quite high, but it has a very high difference at 16K as well. So let me show you. It does split quite high. It does have something here as well. How much we have? 6.5 dB difference. So yeah, this China EMT as well, this and this. So it does split quite high. And that's the difference, but it has something here happening as well. If you want to have a look at like 60 degrees off axis, or if you want to have a look at the horizontal off axis, please download this and play with this as much as you can. So from all of these, what I determined, and again, it's just me because I went through all of them and I had a look and I kind of determined the best tweeters in regards of axis performance. So from these we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those drivers are one of the DS18's drivers, surprise, surprise. Everything is bad, bad, bad. Off axis, amazing. And all the other, both of these DS18s are bad. Then we have a hybrid audio Clarus, Mundorf, the PS Sound version, one of the OEMs, BMW Harman Kardon, which is surprising, and Rogue Audio. So these drivers really stand out because if we have a look at mainly the 16 kilohertz plus minus, so the DS18, 3 dB, this one is 2.5 dB, Mundorf is 3 dB, Harman Kardon 2.6 dB, and Rogue 2.5 dB. So let's have a look at specifically these drivers. Rogue Audio, this and this. We can see a very, very nice spread, and on axis and off axis are literally identical. Just after the split, it just literally goes down a little bit. So Rogue, very, very nice. OEM, BMW, Harman Kardon, amazing as well. Split here, about 4K, and then it's just literally following the on-axis response. A hybrid audio, Clarus, there we go. Split somewhere here, and again, very, very nice, all the way up to 17K. So the problem is that it kind of rolls off, but the off-axis is amazing. Next one, DS18, surprise, surprise. The only thing is just this little kind of deviates from everything, but the off-axis is extremely similar to the on-axis. So well done, DS18, I guess. If you want something askew from DS18, probably this would be the best option imaging-wise because all the other DS18s are really bad. And the last one is Mundorf. So it does split somewhere. I put 10K because this is a little bit different, but it's kind of the same. It's difficult to say with the AMTs. So 10K split, and again, very little spread, and this looks amazing. So from all of these, probably the Mundorf is going to be the best one, obviously, because the highest split and one of the least deviation at 16 kilohertz. So yeah, this is almost a winner. apart from the price. But yeah, very, very nice off-axis response. You can cross it very, very low. In general, this tweeter is very nice. So this video is very short and sweet. If you, again, want to verify this, check the numbers, download it, and please research yourself, because it's very difficult to go through literally everything and show you everything. Remember, everything is green is better than the rest. Everything that's white is okay, kind of average. Everything is red is kind of bad. And everything that is green on this side with the Tweeter name is exceptionally good and much better than the others in regards to the off-axis response. Now, I know I will have some questions about some other tweeters, so let's very quickly cover a few, the most popular ones that people always request. Stereo integrity, the new one. On axis, 30 degrees, off axis, 60 degrees. So in general, like off-axis response, you can see it's very nice. However, at 16K, we have a big spread. So this tweeter loses a lot of energy at higher frequencies when it goes off-axis. But the spread itself, like, it's nice. It looks nice. And it's just something happening here, not sure why. Helix i5, which I have and I really like it, off, off, off. This is very nice as well. At 16K, it's very little spread. However, I didn't put it as a green because you can see if this green line would go like this here, it would be perfect. However, I'm being extremely critical. That's why I didn't mark it as green. But like if we are comparing up to, I don't know, 13, 14K, again, this is an ideal, almost ideal off-axis performance. It's just that 30 degrees off axis, we have this rising rather than going flat or going down. That's the only difference. My SB29 that I used, ring radiators have a very bad off-axis response. So you can see at 16K, this is a massive difference. And when you go 60 degrees, it's just horrible. So ring radiators have very bad response. The same as horns. Stevens Audio, 30 degrees and 60 degrees. So again, even see similar to the SB29 at 60 degrees is just drops. But even here you can see only 30 degrees. Like up to 13K is fine. And then this, it kind of follows, but this difference between the frequencies is much, much higher. And at 60 degrees, it's even worse. So horns, again, in general, perform worse than normal tweeters. USMs, 30 and 60. So again, similar to the Helix, where the 30 degrees kind of goes up to reach it almost. So it does have just literally 1.5 dB difference at 16K, but it's not, like you can see, it's not the same compared to whichever else Rogue. Like this is almost ideal representation of the on-axis frequency, whereas the US amps, again, is not. And again, this doesn't matter almost at all. But if we're looking for something best, there you go. These are the best. So yeah, analyze this by yourselves. That's it for now. Next time, we're going to have a look at the impulse. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.